Hey everyone, welcome back to our Leetcode study plan. Let's tackle next problem 374. Guess number higher or lower. Consider we have two players, player 1 and player 2. Player 2 hides a number called pick and we need to guess as a player 1 in certain number of attempts what the pick is. In this example, n is equal to 10, meaning from 1 to 10, this player 1 can guess a certain number and as soon as this player guesses 6, that would be the right answer. So let's take a look how that works. This player 1 will guess from 1 to 10. So in this example, let's say n is equal to 10. And we can do this problem linearly, meaning we can keep guessing from 1 to 10 in a linear fashion like 1, 2, 3 until we get the pick. So at some point we get this pick. In this case, in 7th attempt, we get the pick. But we know that if the elements are sorted, then binary search would be the best bet. So let's see how that works here. Instead of guessing some number randomly, let's take a low pointer 1 because the problem says I pick a number from 1 to n. Low would be 1 and high would be 10 in that case. And high would be n, which is 10. So what's the way to guess? We need to ask player 2 if whether the number I guessed is right by calling guess of some number. And now this player 2 will respond with either of 1. If the number we chose is higher than the pick, then he says it's -1. On the other hand, if we pick a lower number than the pick, then he says it's 1. And if we guess it right, he would respond with a 0. So that's the idea. So instead of tackling this problem linearly, let's look at the binary search. We guess a midpoint, low plus high by 2. And that would provide 1 plus 10 by 2, which is 5 if we take the floor value. So we guess the 5. And the way we guess is by calling guess of 5. So I'm asking, is 5 the number to player 2? And now player 2 will compare 7 with 5. So he sees 5 is less than 7. So he would respond with 1 saying the pick is greater than the number we chose. So we get to know that 5 is less than the pick. So we need to update our low pointer to eliminate the numbers less than 5. So since we know 1 through 5, there is no number which matches pick. So we can make our low pointer point to the 6th number. So let's do that. So first time the mid was here. We guessed 5 and we got a response of 1 saying the pick is higher. So we'll update low pointer to 6 and now we calculate the mid again. 6 plus 10 by 2, which is 8, and that crossed the pick. So let's guess that first. And he would respond with a -1 saying your guess is higher than the number. So in that case, we reduce the high pointer to point to the element less than the mid. So we point to 1 less than the mid. So our high becomes 7. This was 10 initially. Now we recalculate the mid. 6 plus 7 by 2, which would be 6. So we'll bring our mid here. Now we guess 6. And player 2 responds with a 1 saying your guess is lower than the number because pick is 7 and we guessed it 6. So in that case we update the low pointer to point to the next element like this, and now both high and low are equal and we recalculate the mid. Now that would be 7 plus 7 by 2, which is 7. So mid comes to 7 as well. Now we guess 7 and this 7 is equal to the pick, so he responds with 0. And that would be our number. So we return the mid, in this case 7. That's the strategy of the game. And when do we exit a while loop? We exit a while loop if high crosses low as usual. So we can update our low and high pointers until low is less than or equal to high. If high crosses low, then it means the number doesn't exist. But in this case, that doesn't happen because he hides some number, and by updating low and high properly, we at some point reach to that proper pick. So let's code this out. I take a low pointer pointing to 1 and high is equal to n. So until when I need to update my pointers? When low less than or equal to high, I can keep finding the mid and update my pointers. Once low and high crosses each other, I stop there. So mid is equal to floor value of low plus high by 2. Now calling the API, we get back one of the 3 responses. So if guess of mid is equal to 1, we update our low pointer pointing to the element next to mid. Else if guess of mid is equal to -1, then the number we chose is very much high than the pick. So we reduce the high pointer to mid -1. Else, finally we found the number and guess of mid will be equal to 0. So we just write else here. We return the midpoint, meaning we found the mid element, we guessed the pick. at this point, and we close the loop. And we don't need any condition outside because within this, the pick will be available, and at some point, we reach this condition and we guess the number right. Let's code this on Leetcode. Okay, so we are back on Leetcode. Let's take low is equal to 1 and high is equal to n. While low less than or equal to high, we find the mid math dot floor high plus low by 2, and if guess of mid is equal to 1, we update our low to mid plus 1. Guess of mid is equal to minus 1, then we update the high pointer to mid minus 1. And doing this if and else if condition, we narrow down and find the pick. So at that point, we return the mid, and that would be our pick. Let's run the code. It's accepted. We'll try submitting it, and it got submitted. So this was the high-low guess game. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.